she just looked me right in the eyes and she said, "Daddy, don't you like love?" It completely shattered me. I mean, I stopped in my tracks. I took a deep breath. I was like, what am I doing? It was one of the most insightful things I'd heard. My name is Tarah Malhotra Feinberg. I am a producer, creative executive, and a strategist. I've spent about 25 years at large media companies like HBO, NBC, and Hearst, and small entrepreneurial ventures. And now I'm consulting with creators and thought leaders to help them figure out how to bring their visions to the fragmented media landscape, and I'm on the verge of launching a new media and publishing company. So I'm the father of twin girls. They are almost 10, which is mind-blowing. They will turn 10 in March. My mom always told me that your children are your greatest teachers. She, as usual, was right. It's hard to pick just one thing that my daughters have taught me, but one of the most poignant things that comes up for me is a couple of years ago, one of my daughters was 7 years old. She has a habit of having a really hard time staying in bed after bedtime. Just really wants additional cuddles, and I mean, she went through a whole routine of when she was 3 or 4, where we had to go through 15 steps and had 5 blankets in the right order, and we had a secret handshake and all these things. And now that's evolved into, more conversation or more attention and time as she matures. These patterns change. So 7 years old, it's probably 9:30 at night. I was really stressed. I had something I needed to do for work, and I was ready to just relax, be an adult, spend some time with my wife. And we had brought her back to bed probably 3 times at this point. In the bedroom, I'm sitting in bed just trying to decompress, and she walks in again. And I said to her, "Isn't it enough?" And sometimes she would completely flip out and have a meltdown, or go into a shame spiral, understandably, if I would say something like that. This time, she just looked me right in the eyes and she said, "Daddy, don't you like love?" It completely shattered me. I mean, I stopped in my tracks. I took a deep breath. I was like, what am I doing? It was one of the most insightful things I'd heard, right? Because all this kid wanted was another hug, another 5 minutes of connection, so that she could feel comfortable and sleep through the rest of the night, and what cost is that? And so since that moment, and sort of the lesson I take out of that, our daughters remind us of our humanity, remind us of our priorities. What am I putting my energy into? What am I making the most important thing in this moment? Let me make sure that really aligns with my purpose and what it means to be a provider, if I align with those kind of typically masculine attributes. Some of my proudest moments at work are the ones where I have been able to put my ego aside and really listen, take feedback about how I'm affecting my team and what they need from me as a leader. And when I have been able to do that, I have increased trust, I have increased productivity, and there's been just more open communication, which is more efficient also, more effective, and creates better results. And this happens at home too, at those times when, instead of talking at my kids and telling them, this is what needs to be done, I have more experience than you, just listen to me, just do it. You don't need to understand right now. Just know that I'm right. you'll understand later. Like, that is one way to parent. That is one way to manage your staff. When I have listened to my kids and they say, Daddy, you're yelling at me. And I'm like, I'm not yelling at you. This is just really important. The alternative is me saying, oh, it sounds like I'm yelling at you. Okay, let me try this a different way. Then they melt, I melt, and we open up communication. We get to where we both want to go. When they come to me and tell me how they're feeling because I've created a safe environment, and saying, I really want to know how you feel about this, or I want to know why you didn't eat everything in your lunchbox, not because you did something wrong, but because I want to make the lunch that you want, then they actually tell me. And then I can get nutrition into their body because I'm doing it in a way that meets them where they are. And so I think that that's one of the most important skills and habits that I've started to develop, largely because my daughters have hit me so emotionally that I want to do that I have then been able to transfer that over to my workplace. One of my earliest memories after becoming a father to my two daughters is that I immediately just had this clarity about what I wanted to put my energy into and what was important to me. I was very worried leading up to it that how am I going to handle this? Like, I am so busy at work and I really care about that. And now I'm going to need to be a father and there's no handbook for this. And I really want to be present. How do I balance all of that? And as soon as they were born, it was just like, oh, this is so clear. It was kind of like when I got a dog in my 30s and all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to go for a drink with that person that I don't really care about at the cost of not feeding a creature that I love who will not eat unless I go home and feed it, and will not be able to go to the bathroom unless I take it outside and let it, It's like that times a million, where I just had this clarity about priorities. And so I'd say that behavior has changed at work ever since that moment. I was building a startup at the time, and it just made me so much more effective. It's almost like a superpower. It's like the Matrix. Like, I'm dodging bullets. Like, everything slows down and I'm like, that is not important to me. I'm so clear on where I put my energy because I need to get this done so I can go spend time on these humans that need me. I think one of the most beautiful blessings of being a girl dad for me is that I really grew up without a father, and I have a younger sister. And at a very young age, I sort of took on this role of trying to be dad-like. And my mom fought against it all the time and said, it's not your job. My sister resented it and everything, but I just sort of internalized that. And when my daughters were born, I felt like I was handed this opportunity to be the dad that my sister never had, because I saw how important that is to a girl specifically. And I don't overgender things. I mean, I work in the gender equality space and healthy masculinity, and like, it's a spectrum. I believe that. At the same time, there's just a different relationship, usually, between a dad and a girl. A daughter gets a certain kind of validation from her dad, and it's the first, whether she's heterosexual or not, it's the first relationship, positive or negative, that she has with a man. And that normalizes what to expect from men for the rest of her life. And it's a huge responsibility, and I've messed it up so many times, but because I care so much and because I have that mission of being the dad that my sister never had, I repair really quickly. And I take that responsibility so strongly. And I think that dads really need to remember that with their daughters, that it is essential that you think about what you are modeling in every moment towards them and around them with their mom, with, if it's a heterosexual relationship, with friends, with your daughter's friends? What are you modeling? Because that is what they're going to take forward as the most normalized thing with men for the rest of their lives. My daughters are about to turn 10, and it's a big milestone. And it's also like at 9 years old, I realized we're kind of halfway through our time with them if they follow a normal trajectory and leave home at 18. It goes so quickly. And so thinking about how I want them to look back at this time, I want them to say, Dad always tried. He never withheld his love. He taught me the difference between identity and actions. Just because I do something harmful or unhelpful. And he taught me that kindness should be normal and expected, and cruelty or judgment should be a flag to stay away from.